Did you know that 3,000 years ago, a specific perfume was legally protected by the death penalty? Not for copyright infringement, but for divine decree. In ancient Jerusalem, if you were caught creating one particular blend of incense for your own personal use, the punishment was to be cut off from your people. A sentence of complete ostracization, equivalent to exile or death. This wasn't just any fragrance. This was believed to be the scent of God. And the people who crafted it held one of the most secret and dangerous jobs in the world. They were the Temple Incense Mixers. Their workshop was the heart of the sacred. Their measuring cups held the balance between the mortal and the divine. And their recipe was a secret worth dying for. This is the story of a profession lost to the smoke of history. Welcome to Lost Professions. Today we travel back to the sun-baked stones of Jerusalem, to the era of King Solomon's temple. Here, within the hallowed courtyards, a special group of artisans practiced a craft that was more alchemy than perfumery. They were known as the perfumers of the sanctuary, and their sole task was to compound the holy incense, the Ketoret. This wasn't a potpourri to freshen the air, it was a consecrated offering, a fragrant prayer that was burned twice daily on a golden altar. Its aroma was said to please Yahweh, atone for sins, and create a tangible bridge between earth and the heavens. The position of incense mixer was hereditary, a sacred trust passed from father to son. But what made this job so dangerous that the recipe had to be guarded by a single family, on pain of divine wrath? The answer begins with the ingredients. This was no simple blend. Ancient texts speak of a complex formula of spices and resins sourced from the farthest corners of the known world. There was frankincense from the remote deserts of Sheba in southern Arabia, its milky white tears more valuable than gold. There was galbanum, a pungent gum resin from Persia, and stacte, thought to be a form of myrrh oil that oozed from the tree without any incision. These were the core components, carried across treacherous caravan routes, their immense cost reflecting their sacred purpose. Just procuring these materials was a feat of international trade and staggering expense. But here's the puzzle. The ancient texts list 11 ingredients, yet only 4 are explicitly named in the holiest scriptures. What were the other 7, and why were they kept so secret? Among these secret ingredients were cassia from India, spikenard from the Himalayas, and saffron from the Mediterranean. Each had to be of the highest possible quality, without blemish. The perfumers were expert botanists and merchants, able to identify the perfect harvest. But one ingredient, onycha, remains a complete mystery to this day. The original Hebrew word shekalith offers few clues. The Greek translation suggests it was the operculum, the claw-like door of a particular sea snail from the Red Sea, which when burned emits a powerful, lasting aroma. Others argue it was a rock rose resin, or even amber. The truth is, we don't know for sure. Was it a shellfish, a plant resin, or something else entirely? Scholars still debate, but the Avtinas family knew. They were the sole keepers of this knowledge, the one family entrusted with the complete, unadulterated formula. The House of Avtinas held a monopoly on this sacred art. For generations, they were the only ones who knew the precise quantities, the specific grinding techniques, and the identity of every last component. Their knowledge was their power and their burden. They lived in a special chamber within the temple complex, dedicated entirely to their craft. Talmudic lore recounts how no bride from their family ever wore perfume, so that no one could ever suspect they were using the holy mixture for personal gain. This level of secrecy was controversial. The sages of the time criticized the House of Avtinas, accusing them of arrogance for refusing to take on apprentices from outside their bloodline. But was it greed, or were they protecting something far more potent? The family claimed their secret was divinely inspired and could not be safely shared, for a mistake in the mixture could have catastrophic consequences. The process itself was a ritual. The perfumers didn't just mix ingredients, they performed a sacred duty. Each spice was ground separately into an incredibly fine powder, a task accompanied by specific chants. One of the key phrases, repeated like a mantra, was Hedek Hetev, Hedek Hetev, which means grind it thoroughly, thoroughly grind it. This wasn't just for texture, it was believed to release the spiritual essence of each component. The smoke created by the Ketoret was unlike any other. It was said to be miraculous, rising from the golden altar in a perfectly straight column, never wavering to the left or right, no matter how strong the draft in the temple. It ascended directly towards the heavens. But on one day a year, the Day of Atonement, the high priest would take a pan of this glowing incense behind the veil and into the Holy of Holies, the most sacred place on earth. And what happened in there, in the blinding presence of the divine, was a matter of life and death. The incense created a protective smokescreen, a cloud of fragrance that shielded the mortal high priest from the overwhelming divine presence, allowing him to perform the rites of atonement for the entire nation and emerge alive. The key to this dense, ascending smoke was another of the Avtinas family's secrets. They had identified a mysterious, unlisted herb they called ma'el ashan, meaning that which causes smoke to rise. This herb was the secret to the smoke's unwavering vertical ascent. When the sages, suspicious of their monopoly, demanded they reveal its identity, the family flatly refused. They argued that if the knowledge fell into the wrong hands, it could be used for idolatry. What was this smoke raiser? And why was its identity so critical to conceal? Its secret too, like that of Onycha, was buried with them. Over time, the Ketoret gained a reputation for having powers that bordered on the supernatural. Legends grew around its potent aroma. It was said that the goats grazing on the Temple Mount would sneeze from its sheer power. Women in Jerusalem supposedly had no need for perfume, as the holy scent would cling to their clothes and hair as it drifted over the city walls. More profoundly, later traditions claimed the scent was so powerful it could counteract the smell of death itself. During a great plague, Aaron, the first high priest, was said to have walked among the people with a censer of this incense, and the plague was stopped in its tracks. Could a simple blend of spices hold the power to ward off epidemics and purify the world? To the people of ancient Jerusalem, it wasn't just a possibility, it was a matter of faith, a fragrant shield against the darkness. But no shield could protect against what was coming. In the year 70 CE, the Roman legions, under the command of Titus, laid siege to Jerusalem. The city was sacked, and the magnificent Second Temple was burned to the ground. In that great and terrible fire, the golden altar was toppled. The storerooms of precious spices were consumed by flame, and the sacred workshop of the house of Avtinas fell silent forever. The profession of the Temple Incense Mixer ceased to exist in a single catastrophic day. And with the artisans went their secrets. The family, the keepers of the divine formula, disappeared from the historical record. And then they were gone. After the temple's destruction, the house of Avtinas and their sacred knowledge vanished. Did they take the secret to their graves? Or is it still hidden somewhere, written on a scroll and buried beneath the rubble? For 2,000 years, the exact scent of the Ketoret has been lost to the world. It exists only as a list of ingredients and a collection of stories. In modern times, perfumers, rabbis, and scientists have attempted to reverse engineer the holy incense. Using gas chromatography and mass spectrometry on archaeological finds from the region, they have identified ancient resins and made educated guesses. They have blended frankincense and myrrh, experimented with shellfish and plant extracts, trying to unlock the lost aroma. But every attempt ends with the same admission. Something is missing. The resulting fragrances are beautiful, but they lack the legendary character described in the texts. Is it a lost ingredient? A specific variety of a plant that is now extinct? Or was the true ingredient the faith and intention with which it was made? The Temple Incense Mixer was more than a perfumer. They were a spiritual conduit. Their job was to transform the physical into the ethereal, to create a scent that could carry the prayers of a nation up to God. When the temple fell, that bridge was broken. The world lost not just a profession, but a unique sensory connection to the divine, an aroma so holy it was protected by death, and so secret it has never been smelled since. It remains an echo of a lost world, a ghost of a fragrance, forever trapped in the pages of ancient scrolls. What do you think was the most crucial secret ingredient? The mysterious Onycha? The unknown smoke razor? Or something else entirely? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to uncover more stories of jobs lost to the sands of time, make sure to subscribe to Lost Professions.